Hey, what's up guys? It's your boy the Chief, aka the Chef, aka Chief Chalupa, bringing you a brand new episode of Brawl Stars, where inside of today's video, we're gonna be checking out the newest brawler to release inside of Brawl Stars, who of course is STU, the newest trophy road brawler inside of the game. Now, I've been playing a bunch of STU so far, and safe to say, I've got a lot of opinions on him. You guys might be able to guess what it already is, but I'm gonna be showing you everything you need to know about STU inside of today's video. I'm even gonna show you some skins and even more, so make sure you watch till the very end, and of course, use code PAT in the shop, code PAT, for anything you pick up in this update. Now, let's quickly break down STU's kit before we get into a couple of showdown matches inside of Brawl Stars. For STU's main attack, it's called Razzle Dazzle. It's gonna end up shooting a rather normal projectile that actually ends up hitting enemies twice. It looks like a single shot, but actually both of them do 840 damage for a combined 1680, which is a ton of damage. Goes pretty long, travels with a decent movement speed, but what's really cool about STU is his super called Nitro Boost. What it does is anytime you end up hitting one of your main attacks, you'll get your super unlocked. One hit, one super, and what it's gonna end up doing is boost you a pretty solid distance, the distance of a little bit more than a Mortis Dash, and it's also gonna lay down a bunch of flames to where if opponents step inside of it, it's gonna end up doing 1120 damage at 280 damage per second. So ridiculously good, of course. And then for his gadget, he's got Speed Zone, which makes him as well as his teammates faster. For his star powers, his first one, which is my favorite, called Zero Drag, it's gonna end up increasing the distance that you actually dash with your super. And finally, with Gas Heal, it's gonna end up getting 500 health in the flash of an eye. Guys, I can't wait to show you guys STU. Let's hop into it. STU is ridiculously fun to play. I know you guys are like me and you probably like playing mobility brawlers like Mortis, to where you can zoom around the map. Even someone like a Daryl and an Edgar, who can just get onto opponents in the blink of an eye. And guess what? With STU, you're gonna end up hitting shots. You're gonna zoom onto your opponents, and at a moment's, well, I mean, unless you auto aim like me, you're gonna be able to just zoom yourself on around. I mean, look at this speed zone right here. Gonna let us make our moves. And guys, I mean, I'm sort of trolling right now as far as like actually trying to kill this Daryl, but I just want to show off to you guys how much the zoomies of this brawler are absolutely ridiculous. It's so much fun to end up playing. Of course, for the auto attacks, like I said, the burst damage being above 1600. I think what's really, an easy way to look at this is if a brawler can deal 1400 damage in burst, like a Jean or a Colonel Ruffs or someone else, that's probably a really good brawler. And for STU does 1680, assuming you hit both your shots, which, I mean, it's pretty difficult to actually only hit one. You can see right there that if I shoot it off to the side, I'm still connecting. So yeah, that damage is absolutely absurd. Let's keep zooming on around, guys, and especially when you get to modes like Brawl Ball, or even just modes like 3v3, where you're gonna end up connecting with more of your regular shots. It's gonna be crazy how much value you end up getting. All right, well, 3 brawlers left right here. I'm gonna just keep on zooming around. I mean, if I could only hit my shots. Now, you do have a pretty decent reload time for STU, to where you can't just spam your shots and think they're going to be back in like half a second for someone like Max. But in the end, the mobility of playing this brawler, not to mention, I haven't even been able to flex that damage that you do behind you when you're playing this brawler. STU is ridiculously fun. I love the story that he's a test dummy brawler that ended up getting added to the game. I think that's hysterical. Shout out to Kairos, who's going to have to probably do something crazy for his video on STU. But yeah, really solid stuff. Shelly, please avoid that. Goodbye. Now I'm going to play a couple more matches with STU in just a moment, and I'll give you guys my opinion on him inside of the game. But first, let's cover the new skins and a couple of new things coming out inside of this update. First up is BB's new skin, BB Lante. Take a look at this one. Pretty neat stuff. The yellow bat is definitely an awesome touch, but with BB, it all comes down to her super, and yeah, that's a pretty lame super for this skin. Nothing like Heroin BB or even any of the others. Zombie BB, obviously. All in all, not really my favorite for a new skin inside of Brawl Stars. Another disappointing skin is going to be PSG Mike. Yes, I know it's free from the challenge, but this is basically Coach Mike, just with that PSG skin. Obviously, if this was like a brand new skin that they hadn't done before with the soccer balls acting as the dynamite, that'd be super cool. But I really don't like skins like this that just play off of other skins, like Red Wizard Barley versus the regular Wizard Barley. Yeah, I mean, just not my thing. 0 for 2 on these two skins, but I think STU is going to make up for it in the end. So, and this skin is free. Why not? Final thing before we hop into a couple of more STU matches, let's talk about the new balance changes coming out inside of Brawl Stars. Now, the final thing before we get into a couple more matches with STU to check out how good he is inside of the game, I'm going to be breaking down some quick balance changes that are going to end up changing the way Brawl Stars is played. Let's go and get into it. First, we're seeing a major change for B. Honeycode is now replaced with Honeycomb, Honeycomb as B's new star power inside of Brawl Stars. What it's going to do now is if you end up hitting your first shot, you're going to be given a 20% shield until you shoot your second shot inside of Brawl Stars. Now, this is sad for all those solo showdown players out there like me. Honeycomb is definitely a cheat code, but Supercell is getting rid of all of these cheat death mechanics, and it's probably a smart thing to do. But still, rest in peace. Next up is Carl. Carl's getting a change to how his heat ejector gadget works, which you guys might know as the doo-doo stain gadget, as I call it inside of my videos. But with this now, whenever an enemy ends up getting hit by your trail of whatever you want to call it, it's going to end up dealing 300 damage per second for 4 seconds, even if they walk outside of it. That's 1,200 guaranteed damage if someone walks into your trail. Pretty good. I can't believe I just missed that guy right there. 1,200 is nothing to scoff at, so especially in those close fights where you can end up using it for an opponent on top of you, it's probably not that bad. Last major change is going to end up being for Tick, and I'm so excited for this one. First, they changed it to where now, if you shoot closer to yourself, your mines will actually be spread out closer versus if you shoot from range, they're actually going to be spread way farther. Also, they ended up changing Tick's gadget, the one that used to let him zoom forward and drop a mine behind him. That one is new more, and the new one ends up giving you 6 mines in a single shot. Look at how crazy that gadget is. I'm in love with it, not only with his other gadget that makes you explode and do damage as well as make you invulnerable. This new one lets you shoot 6 mines at your opponents. This is going to be ridiculously fun to use as one of the 3 major changes coming out inside of Brawl Stars. Finally, for the buffs and nerfs inside of Brawl Stars, I'm going to go ahead and throw the buffs on the screen right now. We're going to end up seeing buffs to Barley, Bo, Brock, Carl, Crow, Gale, Jean, and Lou. Of course, you can pause and check out these balance changes if you want. I don't want to spend 5 minutes on reading these off for you guys. And finally, with nerfs, you're going to end up seeing nerfs for Amber, Edgar, Jesse, and Mr. P. So a lot more buffs than nerfs inside of this update. Overall, super exciting. But with that, let's go ahead and get back to the STU action and see if we can come out on top. Now, I want to be honest with you guys. I don't often call brawlers broken inside of Brawl Stars. I like to reserve my judgment to see a brawler get released inside of the game before making any other opinions. But guys, I mean, I don't know what else there is to say right now, because I think STU is absolutely broken inside of Brawl Stars. He is ridiculously fun to play. He's ridiculously simple to play. He's a great auto aim brawler inside of Brawl Stars, just for moving forward, spamming, spraying, and praying shots to get onto your opponents. This brawler is ridiculously good, and even if it might not seem like it inside of this video, I definitely think that he is going to be a top 5 brawler inside of Brawl Stars. And I think he could be broken with a lowercase b. Maybe not an uppercase b like a Rosa when she was first released, but still, the ability to move around with this brawler and chuck yourself across the map is going to lead to some crazy gameplay experience where you're going to just be zooming all over the place, tearing down opponents, and really not giving them a chance to breathe, especially in Showdown. Once you can just start zooming your way around the map and not let your opponents get onto you, it's going to be crazy watching as STU just makes his way everywhere. I mean, this is going to be crazy. I love this brawler design, by the way. Absolutely amazing. I'm super proud, or super impressed with what Supercell was able to do with STU. Without a doubt, I think he's going to be broken with a lowercase b inside of Brawl Stars. Not a capital B for now, but that could change depending on how things go. Now, one thing I would say about STU is that his HP isn't the craziest, so if you're running into brawlers who can really end up doing a ton of burst damage to you, you could find yourself in a little bit of a tough spot, especially, you know, if you're going to get 3-tapped by, I don't know, a Jesse or something similar like that, if they can really get onto you. But otherwise, I mean, everything you want inside of a brawler, you're going to end up getting with STU inside of the game. You're going to get that quick movement speed, you're going to get the dashes, you're going to get the decent range on your auto attack, mobility. Look at that. We just juked all over that Nita. I mean, this is going to be not only one of the best brawlers in the game, but without a doubt, one of the most fun brawlers to play inside of the game. The outplay potential you have of zooming away from brawlers the moment that you connect, being able to spam supers over and over and over again. He's going to be one of the slippiest brawlers inside of Brawl Stars. Did I just say slippiest instead of slippery? He's going to be slippery. He's going to be slippery inside of Brawl Stars, and without a doubt, I think he's going to be broken, guys. You guys let me know what you think inside of the comment section below, but mobility is key inside of so many games. That is going to be a dead 8-bit, and yeah, I mean, this is everything you want inside of a brawler right now. Okay, let's wrap this one up with one final dub, and of course, we'll have to see what happens when STU is released globally inside of Brawl Stars, but for now, feeling really confident about where STU stands, and we just turned that Primo into beef stew. Guys, that's gonna wrap up the first sneak peek for the new update coming out inside of Brawl Stars, and it was an absolute doozy. Loving STU as the new brawler inside of Brawl Stars. Really don't like the 2 new skins that I showed you with BB as well as PSG Mike today. And finally, the balance changes. I'm so excited for to get a brand new meta and see who ends up on top inside of Brawl Stars. Now for you guys, I want to hear what you think inside of the comment section below. Do you think STU's broken? Do you think he's trash? Do you think he's insane, or any other word that I use inside of my titles? Let me know inside of the comment section below. Subscribe and hit that bell for more sneak peeks coming your way, and I will see you guys later. Chief Pat, peace out.